All right, what's going on, hustlers? Welcome back into Hustlepedia. Today, I want to dive into a topic which was brought to the light by Bloomberg in this article. If you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend you go take a look at it. I will leave the link in the bio if you would like to go check this out yourself. As they say, $1 billion crypto gaming startup promised riches and delivered disaster. And I wanted to kind of talk about the state of play-to-earn gaming right now, where I think the sustainability in the future lies, and kind of just pick apart a couple of pieces of this article, which I thought were very interesting to highlight and kind of naive by Bloomberg to kind of just throw out there, because at the end of the day, this is like a brand new industry in the gaming world. And sure, Axie Infinity definitely didn't get the tokenomics right with the inflationary model, but at the same time, power to the player and ownership of assets is certainly the future. So we're going to take a look at some of these economies that also copycatted the tokenomic system, the inflationary metrics from Axie Infinity, and then also suffered the exact same fate. Because here's the thing about these games at this moment in time. Any game with an inflationary model relies on brand new players. So if they don't continually add players to the economy, then they're in trouble, because then all of a sudden the assets, the tokens aren't being bought, earned at the same exact rate. And also at the same time, player count hurts these games, because the more players that get into these economies, they sell more of their tokens, which provides a lot more sell pressure, a lot more of these inflationary tokens getting infinitely printed into the economy. So we'll talk about that and more in this video. If you're new to the channel, be sure to drop down and hit the subscribe button. We come out with brand new crypto gaming videos here every single week. As well, hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Also, check out my last video if you didn't, where we break down NFT utility, as well as unveil my upcoming project, which is an NFT gaming collective titled This Thing of Ours. Lots of utility coming to the table, built by gamers for gamers, so I definitely recommend you check that out. Without further ado, let's just kind of highlight a couple of things in this article. As you know, they kind of talk about the downfalls and the pitfalls of Axie Infinity and the things that they got wrong and the promises they supposedly made to the public. As we see here, I'll just kind of take a look paragraph by paragraph and we'll go through it. Many Axie regulars says it's not much fun, but that hasn't stopped people from dedicating hours researching strategies, haunting Axie themed discords and Reddit forums, and paying for specialized software that helps them build stronger teams. Armintia, who has poured $40,000 into his habits since last August, professes to like the game, but he also likes to make it clear that recreation was never his goal. I was actually hoping it could become my full-time job. Now, red flag number one. No game should ever promise or have the earning potential to make anyone think that it should become their full-time job. And here's why I mean that. There's a small sliver of people in the current state of crypto games, in the current state of Web 2 games. Let's just go Web 2. There's like 0.1% of the economies of those games that make a living, and they're esports athletes and they're high-level streamers. So who am I talking about? Scump, for example, from Call of Duty, Nadeshot from Call of Duty, big personalities and big esports players. And then you roll over to the streamer side. Think Dr. Disrespect, Nick Merckx, Tim the Tatman. You know, these people do truly make livings off of games. But at the same time, they're playing fun games, which people flock to watch them on. They have massive personalities that people cling to and really enjoy the jokes, the comedy, the gameplay that they're watching, etc. They're actually playing fun games, right? So first and foremost, those guys don't just play the game because it's their job. They all started playing these games in Web 2 because it was fun. Now, they discovered they were good enough to go pro or be an esports streaming personality, whatever it is. So red flag number one, none of these crypto games, playing them, can replace your job, because all of them go through these hype cycles. So we'll just kind of take a look at these token prices. As we see here, SLP, it definitely did go through its cycle. People were making a lot of money during these periods. As we know, I was in on Peg Axie. We got in very early on Peg Axie. I believe right here is where I bought my first Pegas. Right in this area is where I bought my first Pegas, and we definitely caught this hype cycle. It was an absolute brilliant time, and we were making a lot of money in this game. But do not get me wrong. I wasn't doing digital horse racing games because I thought they were fun. I was doing it because it was definitely making money, right? And that is not gaming to the core. So crypto games right now is all investors, and it is all people looking to profit off these games and profit off the time time they put into these economies. Also, Krabata went through a massive hype cycle. We got in here as well. We made a lot of money on Krabata. As we see, Thetan Arena had a very short-lived run, which is very sad because honestly, out of all of these games, Thetan Arena was probably the best. It was a MOBA. It was mobile compatible. You could play it on your computer or Android or iPhone. It was really a solid game for the early iterations of crypto games, but they fell victim to that toxic inflationary tokenomics system, which ultimately tanked their game from the very beginning because so many players were playing, so many players were trying to cash out rewards, etc., and their hero structure just wasn't lined up right, which is very sad because this game had a lot of potential to potentially sweep the space and be a massive crypto game, but they fell victim to the same exact tokenomics that all of these other projects have. So first and foremost, that is the problem. Nobody was playing those games at the moment for fun. And games should first and foremost have a fun, engaging, dopamine-driven gameplay loop, which makes you want to jump back in. Think Fortnite when you want to go get a win with your boys, or Warzone. That Warzone victory screen at the end, it is intoxicating. You want to hop right back into another game. It's dopamine-driven when you get a kill in Call of Duty, when you get a new asset in World of Warcraft, RuneScape, etc. So none of these games had that. You were just earning XYZ amount of tokens, and the problem here was a lot of people would just go right to the open market and dump those tokens. So I was actually hoping that this become my full-time job. Already a big red flag because none of these games can sustain the amount of time with that tokenomics model, right? So the inflationary tokenomics model will never be able to replace anyone's full-time job because it just is not sustainable. That is just a model that has proven to fail and maybe have 2-3 month hype cycles at a time and then completely die because the inflationary metrics of the game just get completely out of hand. And they talk about the breeding and the different aspects, the two-token system. We've seen Axie Infinity go from like $140 to I think under $20, and that's also subject to the market conditions. But at the same time, a lot of players have left the ecosystem, and SLP, their main earning token, which is inflationary, has gone from about 30 cents, 34 cents here, all the way down to 0.003 cents. So this is 0.3 of 1 cent. So that is a crazy, crazy drop at this point in time. And all of these games have suffered this because once that inflation gets out of hand, it's really hard for these games to get it back under control. And as you see here, Thetan Arenas went down from day one because their tokenomics were just that bad. So anyone who copied this model definitely fell victim to that same trap. But I wanted to also talk about this. Every new Axie player needs Axies to play, and you needed 3 Axies to play the game. Armintia started breeding last August at a time when normal economics seemed not to apply. You would be making 300, 400% on your money in 5 days guaranteed. He says it was stupid. And that's already, if you're making those types of gains, you should be cashing out actively. You should be cashing into stable coins, for example, because that should be the signal right there that is not going to last forever. And I got into Peg Axie, Krabata, etc., knowing the risks, right? Cyball, etc. All these games that I have been into over time, I knew the risk. The second that I got in with these inflationary tokens, they all go through massive hype cycles and then they crash. That is just how these inflationary economies work. Look at the US dollar right now, right? I mean, we just print this thing infinitely, and the economy is showing that gets out of hand after a while, and you have to do some major damage control. We're seeing crypto down 80+% across altcoins, 65% on Bitcoin. We're seeing the stock market absolutely plummet. So at this point in time, this is just common economics. If you print too much of something into the economy, it is going to collapse. And it kind of goes in here where they're talking about what the mission for Sky Mavis was, for example. By last October, the company founded in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, 4 years ago by a group of Asian, European, and American entrepreneurs had raised more than $160 million from investors, from venture capitalists like Andreessen Horowitz and crypto-focused firm Paradigm at a peak valuation of $3 billion, where that same month they had crossed 2 million daily users. And that goes back to the point that I said, where this player count hurts these games over time because so many people are out there printing more of these tokens into the economy on an infinite supply token. It was bound to get out of hand, right? So at this point, it only makes sense why this happened. And the fact that they're painting this picture, and my grand point of this video is the fact that they're painting this picture that it's just play to earn NFT games that are the problem. That is not the case, because games are now starting to pivot away from this model. We're seeing games like Big Time, for example. Big Time's not making you earn a token, right? Big Time is going to be free to play, and Big Time, you earn these NFT assets, which the market sets the value, right? So Big Time is an actual fun game. People are hopping in here to actually squad up with their friends. It's very Diablo crossed over with World of Warcraft, in my opinion. It's got a lot of Diablo vibes, and it's a really fun game. I've played it myself quite a bit, right? It's an actual fun game where you get NFT drops. So think about the traditional games in the space, right? Call of Duty, you earn skins in the battle pass, or you can go out and you can buy a skin and then you can resell it later once it gains a little bit of rarity, when it's off the marketplace, nobody else is selling it, or if it's a battle pass asset, right? These games need to install the methods that the traditional gaming world has flourished on for years and years. Now, microtransactions have always been a part of games, and last year, studios brought in a total of $52 billion in revenue from microtransactions. What is a microtransaction? Buying a battle pass, buying a camouflage on a gun, buying a character skin, etc. Those all contribute to microtransactions. Look at Clash of Clans. I think that I don't even know the figure that Clash of Clans has had through microtransactions over the years, but their game is fully driven off microtransactions. We're seeing Diablo, a Web 2 game right now, the new one. They actually have a $110,000 cap to get your character to the highest maxed out all assets. $110,000. But you can't trade that. You can't sell that on an open marketplace such as Big Time. So what these games really need to do, and learn from Smooth Love Potion and Vigorous and Treasure Under the Sea, Fate and Coin, and really learn from this article where they're really trying to paint the whole picture that NFT gaming is this flawed scam industry, when in reality these games need to start going with the method that Big Time is, that I know Illuvium's going to go with, Shrapnel. All these games are going to go with a much healthier economic system where you're acquiring NFTs, and the open market will be able to dictate the value of that NFT, because right now, no game in the world, you don't log on to Call of Duty and you check the Call of Duty token price. That is non-existent. That is just non-existent. You're not playing these games based on a token price. They are playing these games because they are fun to play. You hop in, you have fun with your friends, you have a gameplay loop that's engaging, dopamine-driven, etc. And then on the open market, they do sell skins in these traditional games, and as you're seeing here, there are skin marketplaces on Big Time. But these are all player-earned and player-listed, so everything on here is listed by a user to sell, and they have all earned these in the game from an NFT drop after a completion of a mission. This is exactly how these economies should function moving forward, and it just sucks to see something like Bloomberg trying to drag down the whole industry of NFT gaming and crypto gaming, for example, whenever that was simply the first model and the first mechanism of this implementation of this new world of asset ownerships and monetizing your time potentially within these games. And what I mean by monetizing your time, people have spent 15 years playing World of Warcraft and potentially have made $0 off of the assets they've acquired, or RuneScape, etc. But they have marketplaces, third-party websites, where you can go and sell your entire account on RuneScape, World of Warcraft, etc., and that's how you monetize it. But none of these games give that privilege on their open marketplace to specifically trade these assets and trade these NFTs, and it's no different. Someone going out on a third-party website selling their assets on a World of Warcraft facilitated marketplace is no different than just the game specifically, like Big Time, putting a marketplace up for people to be able to monetize their time that they spent to earn these assets. So above all, guys, I just see this shifting towards a more Web 2-centric model with microtransactions. You can purchase battle passes, for example. In a season 1, let's just say Big Time battle pass, those assets, once season 1's over, they can never be earned again. So think about it with your head, logically. That is going to gain rarity over time. It's just like Fortnite season 1 assets, for example. I know this is season 8 on the image, but anything from Fortnite season 1 is considered super rare at this point in time. You know, that is several seasons in the past, and those items cannot be earned anymore. So as you see, the natural rarity that does create and the natural demand, and if the game is good enough, and my last point, if the game is good enough and the game is fun enough, the economy will sustain itself. You know, no game should have to lose their player base based on a token price. But assets on the marketplace set themselves. The market will set itself and sustain if the game is quality. So guys, I'm still super bullish on the future of NFT gaming, crypto gaming, etc. Even in the state of the market, even with Bloomberg trying to absolutely smash Axie Infinity and the whole play to earn NFT gaming industry, I'm as bullish as ever on the future of crypto gaming, NFTs, metaverse, VR, etc. I think that this will sweep the space for years and years to come, and I'm happy to have you all along for the journey. If you liked this video, be sure to like the video, comment down below your thoughts on the state of NFT gaming now and where you think this is going in the future, because I still think this is the future of this industry with pure asset ownership and being able to actually own the items that you earn or purchase within these games, right? It's a shame that when you purchase a Fortnite skin, you don't own it whatsoever. It's just in your inventory and you can't do anything with it. You're just forking over money, hand over fist, into the studio's hands. So guys, I hope to see all of these changes. Let me know your comments down below on the future of crypto gaming in your eyes, as well. Subscribe to the channel for more weekly crypto gaming, NFT gaming, NFT and metaverse videos. I'll be back next video, guys. As always, keep hustling, stay bullish. I know it's hard to in these conditions, but the people who make it out of this bear market will make it. I mean, like, no pun intended. The people who can make it through this bear market are going to be the ones who make those life-changing gains that everyone talks about. Wealth is made in the bear and taking advantage of these economic dips and opportunities. So stay strong out there. Keep hustling. Stay bullish. I'm out. Peace.